Well, hello, Aurora.
Hello.
It seems that every time we get together, we're doing a video. Now you are on the other side of the camera, and I get to ask you a question.
All right.
Okay. Well, you and I had created a website about 4 or 5 years ago called quantumculture.org. The idea was to bring forth information and do perhaps video interviews of people that were raising their consciousness concerning culture. Where is it at, and where do you think it is going?
Well, at this point, it's not really anywhere. It hasn't changed from the startup point in 4 years. And I think that as for where it's going, obviously a lot has changed in the last 4 years, and the direction is going to be basically rewritten or totally shifted over from where we had been initially. Yeah.
Where do you think it needs to go now, Aurora?
Well, I think that there was something very, I'm not entirely refreshed on it, but where we were before, it was very polarized, in a sense of it was like the good and the bad, and like how do we stay in the good and not in the bad, and also how do we unify different religious groups or different types of people or belief systems to create a quantum culture. And I think that in that sense it's going to stay the same, but it's going to change so that it's not focused on the externals of everything, but rather the internal journey and just the natural, more organic way of connecting, rather than forcing some idea or construct, just letting it occur as spirit or just be guided as it will.
Okay, and where do you think it should go then? How would you suggest it happen?
Well, I think this is good, right? Making the videos is a good thing, and like what you were saying, conversations and consciousness, and allowing it to be again organic and freely done, and in a way that it can incorporate whatever type of person or whatever situation and whatever topic, really, that just moves. It's like the natural thought process or the natural sharing of experiences in spirituality, or in being a person who's evolving.
What value, Aurora, do you think that that type of endeavor could have for anybody?
I think it has an extremely significant value because it creates a space that doesn't have a construct, really. Doesn't have a definition, and it's not identified or solidified in a specific doctrine or method or teaching. It's just something that can happen, and it connects people in a place where they're able to just express, and we can see the beauty of that natural expression and the natural exchange of experience, and it gives people the opportunity to relate to one another and also feel free to express themselves. So
Right now we're having a train interruption.
yeah.
Okay, I think they're done with the whistling.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the concept of conversations in consciousness. Now that was a definition I brought up to you that was actually, it came forth from James Mahu of the Wingmakers. He talked about conversations of consciousness in his last interview, or written interview, with Darlene Burgess of Planet Work Press. The last video that we did together, Aurora, down in Santa Barbara about 6 months ago, we read that interview, and you never posted it, and it hasn't been edited, and we might do that. But the concept of conversations in consciousness, we talked earlier, and to me it allows, it gives a presence of allowance. It allows source to come through without any preconceived notions or concepts. Would that be a good way of defining it as far as your perspective?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, if it's come in as an open, there's such an openness in the approach and in the facilitating of it, it allows the barriers of, I guess in a sense, ego or identity to sort of drop down. And so there you're left with just the consciousness itself of you, or of whatever individual or whatever dynamic is going on. So,
Okay, so the idea then of conversations in consciousness as it relates to quantum culture, that would be a very interesting endeavor, actually. It would be interesting to sit down with people, not in a preconceived, directed way, but in a way in which consciousness can come through.
Yeah, and it's not like we were talking about. It's not about searching for people who have established themselves as some sort of guru or some sort of healer or some sort of facilitator of something that's going to save the planet or fix something. It's just people.
It's almost like that concept of I am, we are, and the presence of allowance. I am, that means us individual or sovereign, as James Mahu would say. We are integral. So this idea of creating the sovereign integral network, maybe this is a start. Conversations in consciousness will touch the hearts and allow the hearts to touch each other to begin to create this network through the heart. What do you think?
Yeah, and it stands there, and I guess the intention is to remain in that unity, remain in that truth, that idea or reality of that oneness, that wholeness between us, where nobody is put up on a pedestal or glamorized by their identity, their personality, or whatever. It's just people, consciousness, us in human form meeting each other and sharing, exchanging.
Wow, that's a new concept. I like that, and I think that that's a good direction to take this. And I would love you, as my daughter and a young person, to move ahead with this in this Conversations in Consciousness. And maybe you and I can do a Conversations in Consciousness.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the first one.
All right.
We'll see. Okay. Thanks, Aurora.
Yeah, thanks.